Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to show you all how to do some tuning, how to play any song that you want to on the kalimba. I'll show you all a few like practice chords, stuff you can do like that, different keys you can put it in, all kinds of stuff, because not all songs that you play are going to be in C, but I will show you how to tune to C as well. So a few things before we get started. I just wanted to say thanks for all the support on here and on TikTok. I really like making videos for y'all, so just keep asking for what you want to see, what kind of tutorials you want, and I'll do whatever gets popular basically. I know a lot of people have been wanting a little more help with tuning, especially for some of the songs that require you to be in a different key. And so here we go. I am doing a 4 Seasons of Love tutorial from Avatar soon, so make sure that you like this video and subscribe and keep up with the channel if you're interested in that. I love making these tutorials, but it does take me a little longer, but I'll get better at it as I'm getting better with editing and stuff. And just good luck, guys. So you may be wondering what a key or a scale is, and those are basically the same things. And basically in super simple music terms, there are 12 major scales, and every song that you play is going to be in one of those scales. So that's a good way to know what you need to tune to. So don't get overwhelmed. You won't have to know all those right off the bat. I know in all my tutorials, I'm gonna tell you exactly what you have to tune. You're not gonna have to know the scale right off the top of your head. So don't worry about that. This is just gonna be helping you tuning. So by default, your 17 key kalimba is just gonna come in the key of C major. This means that all of the notes are gonna be printed on your keyboard. So a C is just gonna be a C, a D is gonna be D. There's no flats, no sharps, nothing like that. The best way to explain from here is to use a tuner, so let's head over there. So what you'll need is a tuning hammer, a tuner, and your kalimba. So for tuners, you really can't go wrong. On the iPhone, I use Tuner Lite by Piascore, and on the Android that I'm borrowing, I'm using the Sound Corset tuner. Because I use my phone to record videos and also to tune, I'm borrowing this one, but either way, it should be good to go. The thing about tuning to C is it's super easy because you just have to make the notes line up right in the middle of the tuner, right to what they say on the keyboard. So your bottom note C, right there. D, good to go. Now say that all of our notes weren't perfectly even or right in the middle. Like say this B was way off. We can tell that it's super low, way lower than it needs to be. See, it's almost on the edge of B flat. This means that we need to tune it back up to a B. So by pushing on the bottom of it, just a little bit like this, by putting your thumb on the bottom and your fingers holding it like this, gently pushing it up, we get closer to B. We can tell that it needs to go up even a little more. Perfect. At this point, I feel like I should mention that all the notes go up in alphabetical order. So it goes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. That all makes sense. And from there, whenever you make a note higher, it's called a sharp. And when you make a note lower, it's called a flat. Sometimes the same note can be referred to the same thing, like an F sharp can also be called a G flat. So let's start on the main reason you're probably here. This is how to change to other major scales. So with C, it's going to sound like this. But say you want to play a different scale. Let's say maybe a G scale. To get to a G scale, we're going to need to make this F an F sharp. To do that, we're going to do similarly to changing the B flat back to a B. We're just going to push on the bottom of the F. We can see it's at an F right now. We're just going to push on it very gently. You always want to be careful when you're doing this. And so now it's at a G flat. We know that an F sharp and a G flat are the same thing. Now that we have this F up to the F sharp or the G flat, we have to tune it. So we can tell that it's still too high. So we need to bring it down just a little bit. So we're going to push on the top really gently. And it's still a little high. So we're going to do it again. Now it's a little low. Push back up on the bottom. Too high again. This is a problem you deal with more whenever you're tuning the higher, smaller tines as well. The lower tines you have more room to move around, but the more you move a smaller tine, the more it's going to change its pitch. So they're harder to tune. So if you find yourself going over too often, you might need to press lighter, or you can actually use the hammer end. We're getting closer. There we go. It's a little closer. Now we're right on the mark. Now that we have the F sharp tuned and we're in G major, the scale will sound right. Perfect. Just know that you can do this for almost any song that you want to. Just by changing the length of the tine, you can make any note that you want to and play any song. A lot of people were asking for what they should practice or simple chords they could learn. And to start out with, I would definitely suggest practicing just some C scales, some G scales, stuff like that. So just that'll get you familiar with just playing back and forth, changing thumbs. From here, a few chords you can learn from it. It's a really pretty instrument in the fact that chords are very easy because these are spaced out in thirds. So on a piano, it would typically go C, D, E, and those would be all in line. But on this, because they're alternated, the keys are already in thirds, so you can make really nice chords without really having to think about it. Pretty much anything you play spaced out will sound really nice, and it's a nice chord. I would practice doing this chord. So you're going to run your right thumb along C, E, and G. Those are all thirds. And then you're going to finish off the C scale with the top C. It's good to practice, and it's also good to practice doing your sweeps. That'll open up a lot of doors for you. As for tuning, I would practice tuning that G scale by turning this F into an F sharp. And then from there, also practice your scale. You can also practice muting from here. In the same way you can practice that C chord, you can do the same thing with the G. By doing that, you're just going to sweep on the G, B, D, and then finish with the top G. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you found something helpful. I know it's a little longer than normal. I just wanted to make sure I went in depth with everything that people have been asking me in the comments. But if you do have more questions, make sure you put them in the comments below. And if you are interested in more Kalimba tutorials, make sure you subscribe. Also follow me on TikTok, and if you ever make TikToks, I love whenever y'all tag me in them. I'll definitely see all of them. Make sure you mention me, put the little ad in there. That is to make sure that I really can see it. But I can see that y'all are improving, and if you ever have questions, you know you can ask me.